This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
You're listening to the Hidden Killers Podcast.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi.
Would you do anything for your family? Anything for your family? Like hide a family member away that was involved in a murder? I gotta say, no. I don't think I wouldn't do that at all. I don't fucking care who you are. If you were involved in that, then you have to, face the consequences for that. An Arizona teen accused of a fatal beating reportedly been hidden away by their family. In a shocking development surrounding the tragic death of 16-year-old Preston Lord at a Halloween party last year, new revelations have emerged of an alleged attempt by the family of one of the accused attackers to conceal him from authorities. 17-year-old Talan Renner, one of 7 suspects facing charges in connection with Lord's death, was allegedly hidden away at his family's cabin in Show Low, Arizona by his father, Travis Renner, in the days following the fatal incident. According to reports, Talan Renner, along with 6 other accused, face first-degree murder and kidnapping charges. Suspects have all pled not guilty and are being held on $1 million bond. The tragedy unfolded October 28th of 23 during a Halloween party in Queen Creek, which attracted over 100 teenagers and prompted multiple 911 calls from concerned neighbors. It was during this event that Lord was fatally beaten, dying in the hospital 2 days later. Police have charged the suspects, alleging they were involved in a violent altercation that resulted in Lord's death. A witness told police that when Lord was on the ground, a group of kids began recording and humping the individual while he laid there dying before they all ran away. His father's ex-girlfriend disclosed the alleged attempt to hide Talan Renner. She shared with authorities that Talan Renner was moved to the remote cabin to allow time for his hands to heal, reportedly after being involved in the altercation that led to Lord's death. Ashley Reynolds, a former employee at Relentless Media Agency, where she worked under Talan's father, Travis Renner, has come forward alleging her involvement in a cover-up following the tragic incident involving Preston's critical injuries. Reynolds stated to the Arizona Republic that Renner and Adam Kiefer, CEO of Relentless Media Agency, openly discussed plans to conceal evidence and shift blame onto another individual with a similar name. Oh, they're kind of doing what Alec Murdaugh tried to do with a boat accident. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, no, you take responsibility here, right? Yeah. According to Reynolds, Renner and Kiefer allegedly orchestrated a plan to take Talan to a remote cabin until the injuries he sustained during the altercation healed. Detectives noted that Renner's family financial capacity to assist in fleeing to Mexico, prompting Talan's removal from the Phoenix area following the attack on Preston. To further conceal Talan's involvement, Reynolds claimed that she was instructed to falsify electronic calendar entries to create the appearance that Talan was out of town on the day of the Halloween party. Additionally, she stated that Renner and Kiefer devised a plan for Renner to distance himself from the company to mitigate potential legal ramifications. Despite the severity of the accusations against Talan Renner, he reportedly participated in extracurricular activities. In a disturbing revelation, it was disclosed that Renner's football coach at American Leadership Academy, Gilbert North, allowed him to play in a game even after he became a person of interest in Lord's murder. Concerns were raised, prompting the termination of the coach. The additional 6, gotta have the team, gotta get him on the team to win that game, even though he's likely participant in a first-degree murder. The additional 6 suspects charged in connection with Lord's death have been identified as Tylon Vigil, William Owens Hines, Dominic Turner, Taylor Sherman, Trenton Billy, and Jacob Meissner. All 7 suspects have maintained their innocence. It continues to unfold. The 7 suspects scheduled to appear in court on April 30th, all charged as adults. Yeah, I mean, we live in a world where, your children can do no wrong and no parent wants to be accountable for anything. I mean, murder's a pretty fucking stiff thing, and I get you're like, oh, this is going to destroy their life. Yes, it will. It certainly will. But you want to destroy it more? How about try and conceal evidence? How about try and hide him? Or, I mean, if you're going to do something that is truly going to be get him out of the fucking country. That's about your only hope. Where he can't be extradited. That's your only hope. If you're going to go as far as to try and conceal this, if he's here, he's going to get busted. That's just how it's going to work.
And even then, you're going to be, what is that, an accomplice or something to helping him.
Exactly.
Aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
Because that's what you would be doing. To me, it's like, you killed a child. You have to go to jail. You have to be held accountable. You're going through the system. Whatever ends up happening to you is just the result of your actions, period.
And you might get a little more grace if everybody came together and said, we're pleading guilty. This was a horrible thing. Kind of groupthink took over and it was a mob, and we were idiots and we were young and stupid, and please have some mercy on us. You might get a judge that would do that. When you're doing this, you're going to be treated pretty much like a first-degree murderer at that point. There's not going to be a lot of grace given to you.
And it sounds like this party was out of control, because I was reading some of the 911 calls, and people literally in their 911 calls said, I think someone's going to end up dead.
Yeah.
Like, this is that bad. And so they closed down the party. Like, there was parents at this party. I think it was one of those situations where the kids are having a Halloween party, and then it gets around the school, and then all these kids start sharing it, and then they all start showing up.
Yeah.
They weren't planning on that. And so the parents are shutting down the party so that everybody's leaving, and somehow they attack this kid for whatever reason.
Yeah.
None of that makes sense to me. There's no good reason to attack this poor kid.
No.
And they beat the crap out of him. And I think it was this kid, Talan, who was like, I guess I didn't, because his knuckles are all messed up. So he was beating on him really good. And he's like, man, didn't realize I was so strong. No, you did.
You did.
Beat a poor child to death. And probably like, yay, because now we're all pumping on him after you've attacked.
And how did that kid get to that point of thinking, this is okay, I can beat the shit out of this kid, maybe kill him, and nothing's going to happen to me?
Well, I have a thought on that.
I'm going to guess that there has never been consequences for this child in any point in their life, as the parents clearly are demonstrating they're going to cover up the horrible behavior of their child. I'm guessing there's probably been a lot of other horrible behavior that's also been covered up by mom and dad. It is shocking to me how parents will not hold their children accountable for anything. No. It's just insane. I had something recently here where I had a house sitter of somebody who's of age, but, kind of living in their parents' basement still. And the house sitter ripped up my pool table by taking the ping pong table cover off and then ripping the carpet on the pool table. I know it was this person. There's no way it was anyone else. I even have on camera the person playing pool on it. And it not being ripped. And I asked, hey, what happened with the ping pong table when I was gone? Because I noticed the net was never put back up. And, nothing. I took it off. I played a little bit of pool. Okay, well, how was that game? How'd that work for you? It was fine. It didn't matter that the table had a huge rip in it and the carpet, and you couldn't play pool on it. It would screw up your game pretty good because it's ripped and it's messed up. And I said, well, what about the big rip on the table? Like, how did you do that? I didn't see a rip. Like, number one right there, if you didn't even see it. It'd be one thing, it was like, oh yeah, I saw that, but I just ignored it or whatever. It's like, I didn't see that. You there's no way that you're blind. Period. You're physically blind if you didn't see it. I said, I know you did it. I know it's probably an accident, but you're not being honest with me here. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see. And I'm like, okay, well, I can prove that it's you. And I'd like my money back now because it's going to cost more to fix this thing than what I paid you for house sitting. Okay, I'll bring it back. And then I called the parent of this individual because I knew them because I had done some social things with them in the past. And said, hey, and then the attitude I got from the parent was, well, can you prove it? Was the camera on it? And I said, well, my camera was facing slightly off, but I I can show that he played pool. I have that part, but it's not directly on the table. Well, if you can't prove it on video, then he didn't do it. It's your word against his.
But he was playing pool. I can prove that.
He was playing pool on my pool table. It was not ripped previously. I have no reason to ask for money back. I'm very well equipped to handle this myself. It's not about the money. It's about the principle of this. Well, my kid doesn't lie.
No, he does.
Yes, he does. All kids lie. They do. And he's lying. Well, yeah, you're out of luck. You can't prove it. And I'd already suspected this guy to be a pretty big douchebag to begin with some of the other stuff he's told me over the last couple of years of just, he's an idiot. I mean, he talks like he's this like tough love parent, even though he's been a parent for a very short period of time because these are his stepkids. But always been very like, I know it all. I know best. I know this way. And some of his parenting tactics are just fucking asinine. And you just kind of roll your eyes because the guy's a fucking narcissist. But really proved the colors of that when that response to me of my kid doesn't lie. and it's your word against his. If I had a parent that I respected, that you have no reason to assume they'd be lying to you about anything, and you know them a bit, said that my kid did that, I would be extremely apologetic and trying to figure out, okay, well, how do we fix this? You don't take the word of the kid, even if the kid's 20 some years old and living in his basement and is a total fucking loser. It's just kind of amazing what people will tell themselves to not take accountability for things. It really is. It's shocking.
Because in this case, they have to have known, like his knuckles are bloodied.
Yeah.
So they know there's some involvement. Mm-hmm. To the point we need to hide this kid for a while so people don't see that his knuckles are bloody.
Yeah.
So we're willing to do that to hide this murder. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a family that lost a child.
Yeah.
And there's other kids that were injured in this attack. Like there was one kid with a broken wrist or something that was also with the boy who was murdered. It's so sad. It's
a sad state of affairs for human beings. And these are people raising kids. And guess what happens when those kids, if they survive childhood, if they don't end up in prison for the rest of their life, like this kid probably will, they will turn out to be the same sort of parent.
Yep.
And the cycle continues.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.